my wedded wife,
to be my wedded husband,
to have,
to hold,
from this day forward, for better
or worse,
for richer
or poorer,
in sickness,
and in health,
till
death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance. I pledge thee my faith and myself to you. Welcome to Vow Triumph, where we break down the marriage vows and what they truly mean. A lot of people say them because it's the norm. It's what we say at the wedding, right? It's the ceremony. But think about the negative components in your vows, the or poorer, in sickness, or the worse. While it is great to be optimistic, nobody ever thinks that those things will come. But for many people, they come, and they come full throttle. This series is all about the true meaning behind the vows and how to make it to the top. Stick around if you want triumph in your vows. That was definitely good to me. I love how you brought that out. Faithfulness is very important. I just feel like when you're truly faithful to your husband or to your wife, we're talking about the husband now, so I'll say to your wife, as a woman, I don't want to be out here embarrassed about my man. I don't want people thinking, I don't want people looking at me with pity, because I see it happen to a lot of women where people pity that woman because they know what the man is doing. Please don't look at me like that.
Right.
I want to be respected. Most importantly, I respect my husband. I respect my marriage. I want to be respected by people, and then I want to do most importantly, I want to do the respecting. And when you're not faithful, you're not respecting your union, you're not respecting the vows that you took before God.
Right.
Screw the friends and the family.
Exactly.
You took some vows before God to remain faithful.
Exactly.
Through no matter what. It's just no excuse. One of my cousins was saying, if her husband ever cheated on her, she was like, that's the deal breaker. I can go through anything else, but I will not go through somebody being cheated on. I never really say what I won't do, because I've never been in that situation to make that decision. So I don't necessarily know what I would do if you were to cheat on me. I just know that I trust you. I know what you believe. I know what you stand on, and I know that if God is in control, that's what I do know.
Right.
And He'll make a way out of no way. He can heal marriages. I definitely agree with that. If it does come down to it, for anybody out there, I'm not talking about me, I'm just talking about anybody. I think it's something that can be recoverable, but like I was talking about the other day with credibility, you have to be consistent. You can't just say that, oh baby, I'm sorry, and then keep going out and doing the same thing over and over again. Well, what are you sorry about? That you got caught this time?
Exactly. It's like a child. when a child knows that the punishment is not going to be severe for an action, when they know they're actually, in all actuality, going to get away with what they're doing, they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get yelled at a couple times, but what's that going to hurt? Let me do this again. And a man is the same way. When he knows that, she ain't going to mind at the end of the day. She might be mad for a couple weeks. She might start, raising the eyebrows at certain things, but at the end of the day, she ain't going to leave me.
Yeah.
That's not really going to stop him from doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to find somebody that's 100 totally against infidelity.
Yeah, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Exactly.
To me, it's just no excuse for it. It's just really no excuse for it. If you're missing something from your wife, you should be able to talk to them.
Right.
And that's why I think checking in is so good. How is your day going?
Right.
I can't send no text to you because I'm sleeping at night. You work overnight. Right. But how's your day going?
Right.
What happened at work today? Because you can find out a lot just by asking somebody how they're doing.
Exactly.
Especially your significant other. Should never be fearful.
Right.
To ask them and check in and stay connected with them. And so great qualities in a husband. And I guess I'm kind of biased because I picked all of these based on basically you, as far as what I think is great qualities in a husband. And the first thing that came to my mind was being a follower of Christ. What I mean by that is reading your Bible, staying connected to Christ, praying, understanding the word, asking the Lord to remain humble, all of that. Just a follower of Christ, and not necessarily just going to church every Sunday, because everybody that goes to church every Sunday is not about what they say they're about.
Right, and that's my prayer every day. See, a lot of people don't understand what the true definition of a Christian is. A lot of people think since they attend this particular church that makes them a Christian. A Christian is a walk. A Christian is a lifestyle. You're trying to be like Christ. You're emulating the life and the example that Christ left for you. And every day I pray a prayer. I say, Lord, just able me to walk like Christ. That's all I want to do, is just be like Jesus. If I know I'm being like Christ, then everything is going to be all right. I'll be able to be a good husband, I'll be a good father, be a good minister, and just be a good friend, a good person, if I can walk like Christ.
And that brings me into the next point of being a doer of the word. Talk is cheap.
Exactly.
As a woman, I want my husband to show me his actions. I don't want you to keep telling me you're going to do something. I want you to show me.
Right. That's one of my dad's favorite quote. He had a brother that was handicapped by a disease, and all his life he never really was like a devout Christian, or he was kind of into the world. And then when in his last days, my dad wondered. He was like, "How am I gonna preach to him? How am I gonna get him to see Christ?" And God revealed to him that some people you can teach Christ, but some people you have to show them Christ. He wasn't in a position where he can get up, and he was handicapped. He couldn't get up and go to church every Sunday. He couldn't even hold a Bible up to his face to read. He was so weak. But my dad had to show him Christ. All the disagreements him and my dad had their whole lives, he was able to put that aside. And my dad had to be the one to help him in the end. The only one that was able to help him in the end was my dad. He had to show him Christ. Now we have to show Christ in ourselves, in our own homes. Be examples of Christ, leaders in our homes, followers and doers of the word. Everybody can quote scripture. And the devil can quote scripture. We find that when the devil said to Jesus on the mountain, he said, "It is written." So the devil can quote the scripture. But we're talking about being a doer of the word. The word, which is Jesus Christ. So you have to do the things that Jesus did to be a doer of the word.
I like that. That's deep. And also, as far as the good qualities in a husband, I always think of a good listener. Sometimes it's good to just sit back and, I'm very famous for this. I'll light your ear up in a minute about something, and you'll just sit there and just calmly listen. Just calmly listen. And I'm still, but listening is a form of understanding. If you can't understand somebody, if you don't listen to their concerns, if you don't listen to their feelings, if you don't listen to what they tell you about their past, it's really important to be a listener to your wife.
And listening is really important. Like you said, sometimes I don't say nothing when you're talking. I let you get out everything you have to say. I have a coworker like that. He just he rambles on so much that when you try to get one word in, he just cuts you off again. He's still going. Like, you have to listen to the whole thing. Otherwise, you may jump to conclusions. She may not have fully got to the point that she's trying to make. If I intervene, then I won't miss the whole point, and I'll jump to conclusions. But when you become a listener, you're really listening to everything what somebody has to say, you can better form a solution when you truly listen.
Listening is it's extremely, and what you described basically was active listening,
right.
asking, or even if you don't understand what I'm saying, follow up questions afterwards. You have done that to me, like, wait a minute, I don't understand. Can you go back and say such and such, such and such? You've done that to me before, and I think it's, like I said, it's really important to have a husband and be a husband that will listen and listen with compassion and listen without judgment. And sometimes, as a woman, I can admit it. Sometimes we're not very rational,
Right.
and sometimes we just want somebody to just listen to our drama just for a second. Especially if you're married, your husband really should be your best friend. So just listen to my drama for 1 minute. And I know I could possibly be wrong, but just listen to me go off for this 1 minute.
Right.
I'm famous for that. Just give me 1 minute to just wreak havoc, and then you can tell me exactly how I'm wrong. Maybe a couple hours later. Let me just get off my chest first. But I look at another component of being respectful, and not just chivalry as far as open my door.
Right.
Things like that. I can open my own door. What I want you to do is respect our marriage vows.
Right.
Respect me as your wife. Respect me when I'm in your face. Respect me when I'm not in your face.
Right.
Uphold, and like you said, be a doer of the word. Christ was not deceitful.
Right.
So we should not be deceitful people. We should be respectful and honor what we said we were going to do, which is to love till death do us part. Be faithful through health and sickness. And
yeah, that's true. Especially what you said about respecting your significant other when they're not around.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a main component, because a lot of people are really two-faced in their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're one way when they're right next to their wife, and then they turn into a totally different person when they get to work or get outside of the home. You have to be the same. I have to live like my wife is always around. Just like we live like Christ can always hear us and is always right next to us, it's the same thing in our marriage. We have to live like our wife is always there. How can we be one? If I'm doing things that I don't want her to see and I don't want her to know about, we cannot possibly be one. I always live like my wife is not right next to me, but my wife is in me.
Yeah.
Because we're one.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I remember you telling me some stories about people at your job. I don't think it was this last company you worked for. It might have been another company. And you were telling me about how you would get in the truck and, like, the person would see a chick and you'd be like, wait, don't you have a whole wife at home?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what?
I have a coworker now. He sometimes he winds up being on call on a certain day. And when you're on call and you come to the office and there's nothing for you, you get to go home. So he's telling me how he's on call and nothing came up. And he's like, man, that's my off night. I don't tell my wife. I just go to the hotel with my sergeant. My wife doesn't even know. I'm like, how dishonest can you be? If they told me I can go home, I'm going before they even finish the sentence, the car has already started. I'm gone. Like, I desire to see my wife all night long when I'm at work.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get home. I don't see how people live any other way. How can your home be a home if that's not the place that you're happiest in? Other than the church, I desire to be at home. The church is the only place I desire to be more than I'm at home. Other than that, I want to be at home with my wife.
What did Luther say? A home is not a home.
Oh, that verse.
A house is not a chair. No, but seriously, that's not any way to live. And I think a lot of people, especially in our generation, they miss that deep, true love.
Right.
Nobody wants to work at anything anymore. It's just, I want it easy. I want what comes easy to me. I want what comes with no hardships or no challenges. And challenges are very vital in a relationship, because if you don't have any challenges in your relationship, how do you know what your relationship is standing on?
Exactly.
When something does come up, if you don't conquer these little challenges, if you don't stay to conquer these little challenges, when something big comes up, your relationship is going to show that your foundation is shaky.
Right.
It's weak.
Right. That's my favorite preacher, Ella Joseph Crawford, always say, if you can't cross the little creeks and streams that life offers you, how can you cross the Jordan River? How can you get across the ocean if you can't cross a little creek?
Yeah.
And if you can't conquer the small problems in your life, the small disagreements, the small trials and tribulations that life has to offer, when confusion really does come, you'll never make it. Yeah. And you have to know in the back of your mind, as we always say, I probably said it in 3 or 4 episodes of your podcast, that all things work together for good. And if you know all things work together for good, that means the trials that you are going through are preparing you, building you up for something that's going to be down the line. And when you get to that big thing, you'll know that even that's going to work out in your favor.
All works out for you good to those that love the Lord. So just be respectful. Don't think because you open a door or you putting on a front for people that you are respecting your wife. Just honor your vows, honor what you say you're going to do. And that brings me into my next point of having integrity and also being honest. As far as integrity, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Be about your word. There's nothing worse than somebody that does not keep their word. And when you take those vows, that's your word.
Exactly.
Word is your bond. Be about what you say you are about.
Exactly. And that's, to me, the vows are more important than the ring. You know, the ring can come on and off. Yeah. But the vows are something that I'm supposed to uphold when my wife's not around. I made this promise to my wife and I made this promise to God that I would stick with you through these things. And at the end, it said till death. Yeah. That should be the only red light to the love, or not to the love will never stop, but to my effort, to my integrity, to what I put in this marriage, to me giving it my all, to you as an individual. Death is the only thing that can make us part.
That's right. And honesty, I talk about honesty a lot because to me it's so important, and you'll hear us revert to the foundation always because honesty is a part of your foundation. And if you're not honest from the beginning, to me, your foundation is just already weak. Right. If you're not upfront about past, and a lot of people think whatever he or she did before is what is that. When I say I love you, I want to love you in all of you. Right. Your past, your present, your future, your hurts, your mistakes, your failures. I want to love all of you. I don't want to love some of you. Right. I don't want to. Your name is Nathan. I don't want to love Nate. I want to love Nathan. The whole you, the whole component of you. Right. And I know we had an incident when we first started talking. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. We had no commitment at this time. But I had told you that I didn't have a boyfriend, and I did. And it really shook up trust in the relationship because it was an unnecessary lie that was told. It didn't have to be told because we weren't together. What was the point of lying about something when you're not with somebody? But I was very young, and I had reasons why I did it, but it's still not right. But it's something that happened. But when you're not honest and you're not upfront and you're not transparent, you become untrustworthy. People take your words and they don't necessarily believe it. They want to validate what you're saying. Because I know there's people in my life right now where I just don't trust anything they say. I have to go validate it. And you heard me say that today. Right. So and so probably lying. I say that all the time because if somebody lies to you, naturally you're going to be kind of resistant to believe them in the future. That's just a natural component of you being lied to. So just be honest and open. It's better to find out in the beginning than find out later down the line.
That's so true.
And just be honest with your motives of why you got with that person. I don't want you to marry me because you got pressure to marry me. I want you to marry me because that's what you really, really wanted to do. Nobody pressured you, right? No. Okay, good. But be honest with your motives. Are you doing it because people are saying you should get married? Are you doing it because your wife or your girlfriend is pressuring you to do it? I need that ring now. I want that ring now or else.
Right.
I don't want to tell you what to do. I want you to put that ring on me. And I remember when you proposed, I think it was July 2005, and we were coming back from Mount Pleasant's union meeting in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we went to Atlantic City on the beach. I don't remember what you said. I just remember you telling me to rise. You didn't say rise, but you told me to get up, and then you just popped the question, and we went on from there. So it should be natural. You shouldn't be pressuring the man to get into or marry you. You shouldn't be pressuring him to do anything that he doesn't want to do on his own, because the relationship is going to kind of be tough if you start pressuring. And just be honest. Be honest with your thoughts, your feelings. If you're not feeling something, and I know as far as women, we can not be feeling something sometimes and still go along with it because we think that's what he wants. So I'm just gonna go along for it. Right. And the husband, I feel like the husband needs to be conscious and know his wife. You can instantly look at me or just hear in the way I say hello, something is wrong with me. Right. What's wrong with you? And I'll say nothing. Angie. Nothing. Angie, I know you. Come on. I said nothing. Then I'm ready to go off at that point when I could really just tell him. But you should really have that intuitiveness with your wife to know when she's feeling down, or when she's feeling bad, or when she needs to get her thoughts and feelings out. All right, guys. Well, that's it. We both hope that you have learned something about To Be My Wedded Husband. Just remember, as husbands, to protect, be a good provider, not just financially, but emotionally. Be there for her, support her, and guide her. Also, be faithful, remain faithful through it all. And we also talked about great qualities in a husband. That includes being a follower of Christ, being a doer of the word, being a good listener, being respectful, and not just chivalry, opening doors, but being respectful and honoring your marriage vows, taking that commitment seriously. And we also talked about honesty and integrity. Mean what you say. So if you say you're going to do something, then do it. So we hope that you enjoyed, and we hope that you will join next week as we talk about To Be My Wedded Wife. We'll get into submissiveness and how I feel about that, and all the components that make up a great wife, and how I think a wife should be, or what a wife should be doing in the home. You want to stick around for that. So thank you for tuning in. God bless.
God bless.